Good evening, everybody, and happy 2014 to you. It's been a little bit of time between videos, obviously with the festive season and whatever else going on, but I really didn't have a lot to say or talk about, and I know that's probably not a good excuse. But often it's funnily enough, I would actually make the first parts of these videos doing all the way, and I have done for the last couple of weeks. But every time I got around to doing the video part, I just didn't really know what to say because I felt like I was standing still and I wasn't doing anything, or that anything to report was kind of insignificant. And I know that I do these for my benefit, and I know that you guys kind of just have along for the ride. But I also like to feel like I'm at least keeping you in the loop and letting you know what's happening, because the whole reason that I started this was to be accountable to you guys, to motivate me, to push me forward when I needed it. The new year's been a weird thing for me. It's been a great chance to sort of let go a bit and sort of step outside my comfort zones and challenge a lot of behaviors that I would otherwise have engaged in, and that was really cool. From drinking alcohol to just sort of not even really thinking about what I'm eating and just eating for the fun and enjoyment of it. That was really cool. And since then, sort of just challenging, well, not even challenging, but just eating more normally. The only probably my hiccup is, I could definitely feel that whilst I sort of am exercising, and you probably can tell from a bit of muscle tone and stuff in those videos, that even in the small amounts that I do, how quickly, and I think I said this before when it first happened, is how quickly that compulsivity comes in, how quickly the urgency and the restlessness and the inability to do anything or think straight or feel like I can really go along with my day, or that it really gets started until I actually do that, is so strong and comes so quickly that it creeps up and I'm not even aware of it, and then one day I'm like, oh wow, that's really quite intense. So it's really been interesting to recognize that and to challenge that in delaying actions, or even days where I've just gone, you know what, not doing it because it's telling me to do so, it's making me do so. So whilst it's not the perfect ideal picture of, I just do it because I do it and I don't think much about it, maybe that's an unrealistic expectation for me to have at this point in time, and creating a more manageable way of sort of doing both, without it getting too crazy. And I know when it gets too crazy, and I'm not letting it sort of exceed what I've set out. It's very just a couple of push-ups and some sit-ups, and that's pretty much it. And the more I come to terms with it's not to lose weight, but rather just to kind of build a muscle or just turn up a little bit, it takes away some of that urgency when I'm doing it, and it's more focused on just the actual process. So it's not such a have to rush through it to get it over and done with so I can get on with my day, but rather a more deliberate action, and enough of the exercise stuff. Food-wise, things have been going really well, and I'm really quite proud of myself, to be honest. From sort of even as early as just on Friday, last night, for instance, went out and had lunch out, which is always a challenge for me. And you guys, as you guys well know, kebabs, burgers, whatever it is that I'm doing. And usually I'd come home and have something a little bit easier for dinner, or just something kind of I feel a bit safe with. And it is checks and balances, but it also kind of helps with just the challenge in itself. It's you don't flood yourself. You're trying to do it in little bits to try and get a sense of exposure, essentially, to take that fear away. But that could also work against me, is that it starts to become a have to. I no longer can just do things freely. So as early as last night, I had lunch out. I can't remember what I had now. I might have been like a toast Turkish whatever burger thing, whatever it was. It was pretty substantial, let me tell you. But I came home that night and I had pizza for dinner as well, which freaks me the fuck out. And probably with the first time within a few weeks that I've been doing these challenges, like going out and having burgers for dinner and doing all these different things that are outside of my usual comfort zone. And it doesn't sound tremendously difficult, and it is for me, obviously, but it's a lot of times it's about the pattern and the sense of safety and control that comes with those patterns. And when I break those patterns, it's hard. It's very hard, even more so than actually eating the food itself. It's more about the lack of safety, the lack of control, and that sense of chaos that is created, and the anxiety and the tremendous sense of fear and urgency to do something, to try and squash that stuff down. And I've not been doing that. I've just kind of been sitting through it. Not every day is perfect, and some days I do much better than I do others. But I found that, at least especially last night and the night before that, and even today, and you'll see why what I'm talking in a second when I sort of shoot through and back and to and from and show you the little bit that I did. Rambling, sorry. That if I just do something, if I make a decision to do it and I don't think about it, if I don't sit there and analyze it, it seems that, I know probably most of you can attest to this and are very familiar with this little process that we as humans go through, is when we think too much about something, when we analyze something too much, we create this huge monster, and we start to, because I've been wired to negatively think about things or think about the fearful aspects of things to protect ourselves, we go into focusing on the negatives, and those negatives become factual. And almost like these are foregone conclusions, and that creates a sense of fear and anxiety, and the first thing that we do is we push that stuff away because it's horrible and no one likes that feeling. So we avoid stuff, and I do that with food because I believe it's going to do X or Y or Z. And I found that the old sort of Nike slogan, I think, of Nike, or the Nike, Reebok, Nike, shoe brand, sports and stuff, that just do it, is don't think about it and just do it. Make the decision to do it. Be committed to that action. Follow through. Deal with it afterwards. I found that really helpful and empowering at times. Yeah, so that's been happening. I try and I'm making it sound all rosy and everything's fucking gung ho, but I really feel like I have been quite very stagnant in the last couple of months. I feel like I've let you guys down. I feel like I've let myself down. I feel like I've failed in my recent recovery attempt, and I think the weight can attest to that. And it's not actually a failure, I guess. It's more of a sidestep, and it's not so much I've fallen backwards, but I've gotten back to a place that I'm really comfortable, and it's very hard to maneuver from, but I'm far more equipped than I was the last time I did this. I'm far more knowledgeable and aware of myself, and I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I know what the indicators are, particularly with exercise. So yeah, it's just it's that upward hill climb again. It's I know that you guys stick around or you don't stick around, or you watch or you don't watch anymore, and that's fair. I guess I didn't give you much to really watch out for. The drama of the weight gain and the struggle makes for great television, and the stagnant pity claims of someone who's deluding themselves, not so much. But things are going pretty good. They could be going better, and today I've made a pretty good step in the right direction of doing just that.
And it's time for a change! Come and take your best shot! I tried to be a nice guy. I tried to play by the rules. You turned your backs on me!
Hey guys, so this is a quick little insert just to quickly show you something that's happening today that hasn't happened probably in about 6 to 8 months. So I thought I'd share that with you just quickly as part of my usual video. So to most people this doesn't look like much other than a simple muesli bar by the wonderful people at Be Natural. And this in fact marks the first time that I've increased my food intake within about 6 to 8 months. So all the talking's done, and let's actually do something and put something into action. Yeah, there we go.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do that, and DuckTales. The danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you.
So as you guys can see, the weight at the moment is pretty low, and probably the lowest it's been. It is the lowest it's been, obviously, because I'm going in a constant downward downward slope. It's the lowest it's been, and the long-term effects, even within the last month or so of being at that weight, I've noticed myself not being as cognitively switched on, feeling depressed, and just really a lot of the adverse effects of long-term anorexia and long-term stints of being in a very low weight. Body starts to shut down. Things don't seem to function or work as well as they should be. And cognitively and from an intellectual standpoint, even just from a conversational standpoint, trying to have a conversation with somebody, I almost feel like I'm standing outside myself, listening to myself talk, and I feel like I'm getting dumber as I speak. I feel very... even now I can't think of the words. It just... my mind seems to go blank, and I run out of things to say, or I lose my focus or my train of thought from time to time. And it makes it very difficult, and it's disheartening and distressing at times, because I know that I'm not a stupid guy, and I know that my well-being or my livelihood is depends upon being cognitively, emotionally, and psychologically sort of switched on. And if I can sort of function on a day-to-day basis, doing simple things like having a conversation with somebody. And I'm a relational person, it's what I do and it's who I am. And even doing this now is a relational thing. I found it very difficult to kind of, my mind's felt very like it's fuzzy, full of cotton wool, and I can't think straight or see straight or put things together in my head. There's been a lack of desire in terms of doing music and finding work and reading and studying up on things. There's a lack of life essence, of libido. There's a lack of anything that kind of drives me forward. And that's not uncommon. I know what those signs are, and I've been there before, and it's a horrible place to be. So that's kind of a bit of a wake-up call, in a sense of things are getting pretty sketchy from a health standpoint. And I know that that's signs of other things, and God knows what else is happening inside my body. But as you can see, the weight's not great, and that's going to change. As you can see that I've made the first increase in terms of food within, God knows, I don't know, 6 months easy, where I started to taper food off to try and stop the weight gain, and then I was exercising. This is the first time I've altered my meal plan in any way, shape or form. And it's scary for a few reasons. One, it's something new, and it's something consistent. It's not just a one-off. You can't explain it away. It's a regular thing. It also would mean that there's some weight gain, which means that there'll be some changes, things that I'm not comfortable with, things I'm going to have to deal with, and that might increase or sort of set off other sort of patterns of behavior, other triggers like more exercise or more compulsivity, or not being as free in terms of my choices. Like right now with my food, I'm a little bit freer with my choices, or what I do, or how the volume or the frequency in which I do it. And that could change, as a way to compensate, to try and stop, to make myself feel better. Like I was talking about before, squishing down that anxiety because of what comes up when I sit in a space that's uncomfortable, unknown, and full of tension and anxiety. So, and again, it's a funny thing is that what I was saying before is that it's these one little things that it fills you with such irrational fear that it's one muesli bar in a meal plan that will be consistent. And if anything, because of where my low weight is, my body's trying to compensate and build up and fix itself and all that kind of jazz, is that it probably won't even touch the sides, and if it does, it'll be good. And I looked at myself even doing this video, and I can see how pathetic I look in the face. And I don't mean from a negative standpoint, but in terms of health and just the way I appear. I even notice I'm like, wow, I don't look good. And I don't like that. I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror when I'm out or in the window, which is a bit more of a realistic perspective because I'm not ready for it, and so my eyes haven't kind of started to distort that image. It's like a quick glance, and the glances I catch, I don't even recognize the person in the reflection, and it's scary. It is scary, and you would think that would motivate me, but alas, crazy. Anyway, really solid step in the right direction. Keeping the exercise, just keeping things, not changing things to try and compensate if there is weight gain, because it's good weight gain and it's a weight gain that I want, and I want to look healthier and better and more attractive and fuller and, you know, full of life. I want all that chutzpah and that spark to come back, that essence that I'm missing at the moment. I'll deal with, and I don't want to sit here and analyze or think too much about the what ifs of weight gain, because I do that and look what happens. So, you know, first solid step. Stick around. I'm sure there's more compelling TV to come. I love you all, and I hope you guys have had a great 2014 so far. And here's to 2014 being a heavier year, so to speak. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. I'll see you in a few days. Bye.